Hello and welcome! This video has popular comments about therapy dogs helping kids that will make you think, smile, and learn a little more. When I was a social worker at a residential treatment facility home for young boys back in the 70s, there was a mascot dog that lived on the premises. One of the caretakers who lived on site was primarily responsible for feeding and caring for this wonderful creature. The dog's name was Buddy. Of course, the perfect name for a dog, especially this dog. Every boy, especially the new boys, gravitated towards Buddy, and Buddy made every single boy feel at home, loved, and safe. One afternoon, one of our little kids was having a really tough day. Parental issues, the little one knowing he wasn't wanted at home, nor was he loved. This one day was really becoming more upset than usual. Buddy slowly sauntered over to this boy, licked his hand, and then laid down next to him and placed his head in his lap. I hear this little boy whispering to Buddy all of his fears and pain. Buddy just looked at him as if he completely understood what the little boy was telling him. These two were inseparable after that. Finally, this little one made a connection, a sincere friend, someone he could trust and tell his secrets to. Dogs have an innate ability to understand and empathize with humans. Their eyes, that gaze of their eyes, can see through one's soul and heart. Kids and dogs go together like macaroni and cheese, chocolate and peanut butter. Buddy helped more kids than I ever could. I learned a great deal from that wonderful pup. Anyone, at any age, is better off when living with a dog. They are indeed our best friends. Frankly, I'm suspicious of people who don't like dogs and of people who dogs don't like. Something is haywire with either type of person. My daughter trained service dogs in college. Her takeaway? Every dog is a therapy dog. My parents would not allow dogs in our family growing up, so I didn't want dogs either when I started my family. Or so I thought. But I was forced into our first one many years ago by my children and have never regretted the decision. Dogs can be a bit of an expense and are an added responsibility. But they are the only people I know who love unconditionally and forgive all of our disappointing behavior. I leave the house for 10 minutes and return to a welcome, as if I've been gone for over a year. We should all develop some canine amnesia for each other. I was fortunate to have recently retired from a small private school where dogs are an important part of the school culture. Each of my Bernese Mountain Dogs over the years came to school with me every day, and even made the faculty web page. Going to school was their job, and they thrived on it, and became an important part of my children's lives that I taught. Other teachers would often send a student who was having a tough day down to my studio to visit for some dog love, which always seemed to work. I even had a student who refused to do his math homework at home and would have his parents drop him off early at school so he could come up, lay on the floor, and do his homework with my dog at his side. Turned it in, 100% finished, and all correct. I also noticed the pandemic was very hard on my dog, especially when quarantine hit and the school closed. Being out of her routine and away from her small friends made me realize just how important the kids were to her. When we were sequestered at home and only had walks in the neighborhood as our job, I would notice that she would welcome the visits from every neighbor kid. We often talk about and study the benefits for children to have dogs in their lives, but I feel the opposite is also very true, as dogs benefit just as much from the friendship of children. I'm an activities director at a senior living facility. When I bring my grand dog, the Labradoodle, to visit, the joy on the residents' faces is so very special. We also have a giant Malamute who comes to visit. Everyone is so much happier. My family had dogs, turtles, hamsters, gerbils, parakeets, who were trained to talk, and a grumpy cockatiel. No cats, as my father professed to dislike them. When I grew up and adopted my own cats, when they saw my father, they made a beeline for him and threw their bodies against him with great affection. He eventually allowed he may have been wrong about cats. My observation is that children who grow up with animals around them are less self-centered, more nurturing, and have an animal to care for, snuggle with, and play with is great learning and lots of fun. Of course, when kids are young, parents do the feeding, walking, and vet visits. As kids grow, they can take on more of that responsibility, and that's a life lesson in caring for another being. I shudder to think of how my husband and I would have made it through the worst of the pandemic without our animals. They are an endless source of amusement, and they are very affectionate. Both of us were raised with critters and have always felt that they were a great addition to our quality of life. Thank God for precious animals. All living things need to cuddle for their mental well-being. As my teenagers will not climb into my lap anymore, they will cuddle with the cats. I'm thrilled to share my 90-pound golden doodle with the staff at the local hospital's ER and critical care unit. He knows how much those few snatched minutes mean to them and is happy to be petted, adored, and photographed. He has no HIPAA protections. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Also, leave your comments below. Thanks for watching.